Yuji Itadori's true power stems from anger. No ifs or buts about it. Although Yuji is not a full human, it definitely seems as if his humanity shows more than anyone else in the series. Thus, him saying to Mahito, "I'm you." Yuji Itadori, since becoming a Jujutsu sorcerer, had been taught to control his cursed energy and not to use anger during a fight because it would reduce his effectiveness. But what if that was something that nerfed Yuji Itadori? I mean, he is a cursed womb with human emotions, so his source of power would be different. With the stakes being ridiculously high at the moment, Sukuna is the only one that can unlock Yuji's full potential, because if Yuji had to be angry at someone, it would definitely be the king of curses. That is why today we will see the difference between angry Yuji and controlled Yuji in Jujutsu Kaisen, and why anger is his source of power. Remember to leave a like, and I want aim for 500 likes. The GxYakuza, I believe in you guys to do it. Subscribe if you are new, and now let's get this started. This tracks all the way back to Ayui Todo's words to Yuji Itadori. After Yuji tried to do the Black Flash against Hanami, with a slap to the face to Yuji, he stops, using his anger as a source to fight. It is noted, anger is a valuable trigger for a Jujutsu sorcerer, and there have been instances where people have been put on their heels after provoking an inferior opponent. Does this remind you of anything? An instance of something like this occurring was what happened when Yuji fought against Sukuna. Sukuna is the master of provoking Yuji, knowing everything that would push his buttons. I mean, he was inside him, pause, and make him incredibly mad. When Sukuna took over the body of Megumi, Yuji was scared, but when seeing Hana being bitten and thrown off, anger sourced his power. In that moment, his cursed energy and power was so strong that Sukuna, who has been within his body for months and understood all he could do, was shocked by his strength and dumbfounded from where it came from. So Ayui Todo's proposition to Yuji at the time was that the anger is not for him and he should just suppress it for now. The words "for now" in the manga seems to be highlighted in this case, showing that when mastering the cursed energy, that anger would be able to make him stronger and fight like never before. Another character that we know that uses anger to source his fighting is Yuta Okkotsu, both in their first years using anger, defeating the opponents in front of them by any means possible. That is pretty much the theme. Not a lot of characters actually use anger as a fuel, as a catalyst, in comparison to these two. So while using this, we have to look at it from the perspective of Yuji and Mahito's first encounter. When they both fought each other, you can definitely see that Mahito toying with Junpei, making Yuji angry and unlocking a side we've never seen before. He starts swinging heavily. He misses, but you can see the rage. But not only that, the real danger is what happens with his durability. It becomes so much more potent, because despite suffering heavy attacks from Mahito, causing him to have holes all around his body from his hands to his chest to his back, you can see that it definitely takes a lot to still be able to fight. A lot of people will get pierced and it'll be done, it'll be GG's right there and then. And Sukuna and Yuji are not working together, so Yuji was still able to go through that pain and still fight on. This is a very common theme when he is fighting with anger, because if we look back at the Sukuna fight again, you can see Yuji was just walking through, and that's due to the pure anger. So we already know, if it's pain, Yuji won't stop. This is especially true when angered and enraged. But how is Yuji when he's not enraged? Well, against Choso, the tenacity and willingness to beat him was nowhere near as much as when he was even fighting against Mahito. Even while having a controlled and calm stance in the fight, his abilities were dulled in comparison. Most of the fight resulted in Choso beating Yuji badly, but this would be due to the skill gap that they both have fundamentally. But Choso also took 2 hits, and giving credit that Yuji's hits are really strong, doing a lot of damage. So in another circumstance, in need of revenge, Yuji Itadori perhaps would have overpowered Choso in that moment, because if anything, it was the opposite in this time, and he didn't want to kill him because he felt bad and also killed his brothers, so he was sad. He kind of sympathized with him. But yes, within Rage, you know that his stats would have been amped up and he would have unlocked the Cursed Rage. Now, why do I call this the Cursed Rage? And it stems from his grandfather. What his grandfather had said cursed him, and it was to save people. This is because Yuji can't act like him, because it resulted into the grandfather dying alone. And we know your dying words is the curse that you put onto the person that is alive, similar to Yaga and Gakuganji. So this has been the full reality all series, is that Yuji hasn't been able to fulfill what his grandfather has said. In reality, people like Nanami, Nobara, Megumi, Gojo, even Hana, Yuji fails to save everybody that is remotely close to him. He debatably saved no one while trying constantly all this time, even Junpei. So this would enable the Cursed Rage, When the grandfather says even if you lose your way, still help people, he's still using this rage to fight on. And that's why his soul is not dead yet. His soul can never die. So the cursed rage would be him trying everything in his power, no matter if humanity is lost or if he dies, to save one person. And that one person could be Megumi. Even though there's a sliver of chance of saving him, is the fact that they had a plan, Yuta and Yuji, so it must not be impossible. I mean, from the moment Megumi was taken, Yuji was stunned. But most of all, every time he engages with curses, he is furious, disgusted, because he realizes curses are nothing like humans. All these curses do nothing but try and anger Yuji Itadori, Sukuna and Mahito especially, which unlocks a side of him that Yuji himself perhaps didn't know. Now, some of you may say this theory or whatever you're saying about this is flawed, because when he fought against Mahito, he was enraged but didn't really get much of a buff or do anything in particular that showed that he's stronger than Mahito. Well, as he's always told, he's told to keep his cool. Even when he was fighting against Mahito, you can see he said Nanami wouldn't lose his cool, so he said prove to him that you are a Jujutsu sorcerer. This is part of what I was saying when Yuji usually has anger as his fuel to get stronger in durability and to attack. In this situation, he believes keeping his cool and keeping a level head will be the reason that he will be able to win. And yes, it did help Yuji Itadori, but in comparison to when he's enraged, is a completely different ballgame. And that's not even mentioning the fact that even Mahito said Yuji came here with half-hearted resolve and thought that he could just do it as a ghost extermination. So you could tell that Yuji didn't really come in there with the resolve that was necessary to turn the tides against Mahito, along with the other cursed spirits, which makes it very, very upsetting. But now, Yuji Itadori is in a moment, in a situation, where his rage is full within, and Gojo was the last straw. The rage that he has been sustaining and holding in since Todo is now being shown as a plus and something that could help in fighting the people that are stronger than you. Yuji Itadori did it one time against Sukuna. Now I think he's gonna do another time, because now this is the perfect time for Sukuna to get a taste of his own medicine from the boy that he believes is probably the most inferior of them all. But instead of Yuji now seeing himself as the person that's going to save everybody and the person that's going to be a hero, he just sees himself as a cog. Someone that is just part of the line of what is to come. Someone that is just has a job and he's just going to do. He has no attachment in any way, shape or form anymore to the life that he's living, which is why he was willing to die even when Megumi was saying no, don't do it. Yuji no longer has a half-heart resolve. In fact, now, if more than ever, he's ready to release all that cursed rage upon Sukuna. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Look at the video here because it's usually a banger, I'd say. And as I say to the new and old people that come and visit my channel, Jana.